Welcome to the second video in our Open Fender System installation guide series for the 2017 Dodge Ram HD. In this video, we will be going through the cutting process. Our goal is to provide this comprehensive instruction in manageable chapters and steps so that an individual will feel comfortable during the process. This is not a replacement for the professional skills and experience required. Disclaimer: this product is for off-road use only. All liability for installation and use rests with the owner of the vehicle. Careless installation and operation can result in serious injury or equipment damage, and for professional installation only. Chapter 4, Step 1. Cutting the rocker channel. Use a marker to connect the cut lines from the bottom outside profile to the corner cut profile directly above it. This will serve as our full outside cut profile. Next, cut upwards on the line, starting from the bottom cut profile and working your way through the marked line. Then, start from the outside edge of the rocker channel and cut horizontally across the cut profile to meet where your previous cut ended. At this point, move back to the outside cut template and use a body saw to cut upwards along the outside profile. Move back to the inside cut profile and finish the vertical cuts with a wheel grinder. Remove the cut material from the rocker channel. Mark a starting location on the inside wall of the rocker channel by drawing an X along the contour of the cut profile. Begin your cuts by notching out sections of the inner wall of the rocker channel. Be sure not to cut past the red cut profile of the inner template. This method of notching sections is for chipping away at the material for easier access. You can now cut away at the needed material from the inside cut profile. Start from the bottom of the template and work your way through the cut line. Next, cut across the upper horizontal cut profile at the top of the inner template. Use a marker to mark a cut line on the inside contour of the template cuts. Then, use a body saw to cut away at the material. Next, start at the bottom of the interior template and cut away notches of the excess material until you reach the red cut profile. Be sure not to cut past the cut line. Finish up by smoothing all of your cuts with a wheel grinder, making sure to stay even with the cut profile lines of the templates. You are now finished with the template cuts needed for the driver's side rocker channel. All steps should be completed as shown to the passenger side as well. It's now time to move on to Step 2. Chapter 4, Step 2. Cutting the body mounts. Use a body saw to cut away the material. Start from the front cut profile and cut through the corner of the driver's side body mount. Finish up by smoothing out the cut with a wheel grinder. Be sure not to go past the cut profile. You are now finished with cutting the body mount for the driver's side. The process should also be completed to the passenger side. It's now time to move on to Step 3. Chapter 4, Step 3. Cutting the rear fender. Before cutting, remove the bolt for the reinforcement rod. With any appropriate tool, start from the bottom of the rear fender and cut upwards along the red cut profile. Continue all the way through and remove the excess material. Use the same method on the opposite side of the fender and remove the excess material from the truck. Be sure not to cut the reinforcement rod at the bottom of the fender. You are now finished with cutting the driver's side rear fenders. All steps should be completed on the passenger side as well. You are now ready to move on to Step 4. Chapter 4, Step 4. Cutting the front fenders. Connect each profile with a marker before cutting. Start from the door end of the fender and use a body saw to cut away the excess material. Follow along the red cut profile all the way through the first template. From there, follow along the marked cut profile to the next template. Keep the continuous cut going and follow through the remaining cut profiles of each template, all the way to the opposite end of the fender. You have now completed the cuts for the driver's side front fender. All steps should also be completed on the passenger side. You can now move on to Step 5. Chapter 4, Step 5. Cutting the headlight valence bracket. Use a body saw to cut away the excess material, starting from the narrow end of the valence bracket where the cut profile begins. Continue straight across the profile line and finish out the cut. You are now finished with the cutting process. Again, all steps should be completed for both the driver's side and passenger side of the truck. You are now ready to move on to Chapter 5.